Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another show. Welcome back to football. But it's not the welcome back that we wanted. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Make sure you smash up the like, subscribe if you're new around here. Bad news. Bad news, guys. It's been quite a peaceful international break. There's been nothing happening. It's been dead for content, but it's been quite nice to have a little bit of a rest and a little bit of a reset. But we take Enzo Maresca's press conference this morning. Cole Palmer, 6 more weeks out. Badiashile, sidelined until December with a muscular problem. Enzo, Pedro Neto, Moises Caicedo, all doubts for the game against Forest. We might be cooked, chat. Chat, we might be cooked. We might be cooked. I mean, look, we knew we were going to have problems with a Club World Cup. We knew that there were going to be fitness issues, injury issues. We knew it would be a problem and it would set us back. I didn't expect it to be this big of a problem and this big of a problem so quickly. Because we're 7 game weeks in and we're decimated, essentially. We've barely been able to play our best team at all. And we sold our soul. We sold our soul for that gold badge. Well, I wouldn't change anything for that afternoon in New York. I wouldn't. But we're paying the price big time now. We are paying a big, big price. And we have not been able to play our best team at all. We simply haven't. And it's a major problem. You know, when was the last time? When have we played our best team this season? We haven't. We've not been able to play our best season. You know, we've not been able to. We played our best team probably in the Club World Cup final. And that's it. When else have we been able to play our best team? Because we've not played our best team once this season. Once. Bro, it's the fact that I'm not saying we can't survive. I'm not saying we're not going to win games. I'm not saying we're not going to pick points up. Because we will pick some points up. But this is another 6 weeks without Palmer. And essentially, Palmer is going to miss virtually the entire first half of the season. He may well return for Arsenal on November 30th, potentially. But again, you know, it might be December when we see him. So Palmer's our best player. We're basically without our 2 best players in Levi Colwill and Cole Palmer for half the season. Half the season, 2 of our best 3 players missing. That's a major problem. And that's why, you know, expectations do have to be capped slightly on this season. You know, we qualify for the Champions League and we're not even able to show our full potential because we're not able to field our best players and play our best team in the competition. You know, that's the reality of the situation. It's not good. It's not good at all. Bro, you must have seen it. I don't know what you saw because that isn't the case. He said, Maresca said today that Pedro Neto, Caicedo and Enzo didn't train yesterday and we'll see about today. They didn't train yesterday. Enzo, Caicedo or Pedro Neto. We know that Caicedo just needs 1 training session. Bang, he'll be fine. But yeah, the rest, it's peak. The rest, it's peak. Fofana back, Chalobah back, Tosin back, Andre Santos back as well. So there is some positive news. But let's get into the main news then on Cole Palmer. Because that's going to require a big tactical shift now for Chelsea. A big tactical shift. And Reece James is fit as well, by the way. Enzo Maresca confirms Cole Palmer will be out for another 6 weeks with a groin injury. I was wrong. Unfortunately, he needs 6 more weeks. Yes, absolutely, no surgery. We just try to protect Cole as much as we can. The medical team are not magicians. We hope 6 weeks are enough. So there's not even a guarantee that... No, it's Pedro Neto. He was referring to Pedro Neto, not João Pedro. So there's not even a guarantee, by the way, chat, that Palmer will be back after 6 weeks. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee whatsoever. This groin injury is a major problem. It's a major problem. And Palmer's played what? 3 games this season. He played against Crystal Palace on the opening day. And then he played against Brentford, Bayern Munich, and 20 minutes against Man United. So Palmer's appeared in 4 games this season. That is it. So essentially, we'll be lucky if Palmer plays 10 games in the first half of the campaign in terms of in all competitions. That's a major issue, chat. A major issue. And if we go through the games that it looks like he could miss, he's going to miss Nottingham Forest tomorrow. He'll miss Ajax. He'll miss Sunderland. He'll miss Wolves in the Carabao. He'll miss Tottenham away. He'll miss Wolves in the Premier League. Karabag in the Champions League. He'll miss Burnley away in the Premier League. And he'll miss Barcelona as well in the Champions League. So 6 weeks, that will take him up. That'll be the next 9 games. Next 9 games that Cole Palmer misses. And maybe he might be back for the game against Arsenal on November 30th. But there's no guarantees that's going to happen either. No guarantees whatsoever. And that is a problem. That is a big, big problem, chat. Because we got by with a few games here and there. No worries. We should be winning 3 or 4. Or we should be getting, from the next 4 games, which is 12 points available, we've got to be looking at a minimum of 10. A minimum of 10. Now, we're looking at this, right? And you think, what are the alternatives to the Palmer situation? You play Enzo higher up and you have midfield of Caicedo and Lavia, Caicedo and Santos, whatever behind him. Do you try Facundo Buonanotte in there, who has played there on occasions, but he's looked okay, but he played against Lincoln. First half against Brentford was his debut. He was all right. And then he played against Benfica where he was sort of okay again, but nothing sort of unbelievable. Nothing sort of unbelievable. And then you've got, what other options have you got? You could drop João Pedro in, play Mark Guy up top. That's an option there as well. Or you could shift Esteval in and play Esteval as a 10. Although Esteval's been doing really well on the right wing, I'd be hesitant about shifting him inside. I feel like he's more dangerous from that right flank. So, look, we've got options to step in, but none of them are options that are going to replicate and give you what Cole Palmer gives you. If I'm being totally honest, the best solution is probably pressing Enzo Fernandez higher up, like we did against Liverpool, and have a midfield pivot behind him. Because I don't really rate Buonanotte like that. I'm not sure, João Pedro in the 10. I think we can try it for sure. I think it works well, but I think we need a better centre forward up front than Mark Guy. But again, Mark Guy is a 9, João Pedro 10. That's something that could absolutely work as well. I mean, guys in the chat, let me know your thoughts. What do you think is the best solution to João Pedro? Sorry, not to fucking João Pedro, to Palmer's absence. What do you think the best solution is? Do you think we should stick with Enzo more advanced, Caicedo Lavia behind, or Caicedo Santos, or a combination of 2 of those 3? Do you think Buonanotte should go there? Should we shift Esteval inside? Should we play Mark Guy and drop João Pedro deeper? Let me know your thoughts in the chat as well. Let's have a look at what you lot are saying as well. Big up to everyone that's in here as well, by the way, guys. Keep smashing up the like, subscribe if you are new round here as well. That would all be greatly, greatly appreciated, guys. So run up these likes and subscribe. Wolfie cooking incoming. Brother, I'm telling you now, if we lose, even if we don't win, it's long for me. It's long because I'm going to get absolutely cooked. So I think the lineup will be Sanchez, James Fofana, Tosin, Cucurella, Santos, Lavia, Garnacho, Buonanotte, Neto, and Mark Gee. It doesn't sound great. Yeah, bro, I'm waiting for that to happen. I'm waiting for that suggestion to arise. Can't wait. Can't wait for people to start saying that. Yeah, bro. But again, this guy can't be relied on. We're going to get onto Badiashile very shortly. I mean, we have got a backup for Palmer. It's just not very good in Buonanotte. That's the reality. Look, this is a major hangover from the Club World Cup. This is something that we obviously should have expected. Plus, with certain players, we have just got injury-prone players with Lavias, with Badiashiles and stuff, you know. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, look, it's an option. It's an option. I would rather have Esteban out wide, so I think he's been much better out wide. But at this point, needs must, to be fair. At this point, needs must. The Brighton Messi had a good game versus Forest last season. Fair. I mean, maybe the Brighton Messi will bring something to the table for us against Nottingham Forest. But I'm not confident. I'm not confident. Yeah, look, this is something that I think is a good idea. And I agree with Cal that JP is wasted in the if you haven't got a creative number 10 behind Joao Pedro, then there is no point playing Joao Pedro as a 9. I think in the last 3 or 4 games, he's not managed a shot on target. And the reason for that is there's no creative 10 behind him, and we're not getting him into the game. We're not getting him into the game. So, yeah, I would agree. Bro, absolutely. Yeah, look, that would work. That would be a creative number 10 behind Pedro. But you've got to have, for Joao Pedro to work properly in the 9, there's got to be a creative 10 behind him. There has to be. Or if you're going to play him in the 10, you need a proper number 9 up front. Now, I'm not saying that Guy's not a proper number 9, but you looked in the small evidence we've got of the West Ham game. I know Leon Delap didn't score or assist, but he was really, really good in really, really good in that game against West Ham, and you saw how good his link-up play was and things like that, and that really benefited Pedro in the number 10 role. No, bro, we're not in a title race, no, because we haven't got our best team available. We haven't got a good enough squad, and we can't. No, we absolutely cannot be putting ourselves or even considering ourselves in title races whatsoever with the squad that we've got and the injuries that we're picking up. It's as simple as that. So look, Palmer out for 6 more weeks. Maybe he'll be back for the Champions League. Not for the Champions League, sorry. For the game against Arsenal at the end of November. But it's going to be 9 or 10 Chelsea games. Maybe he'll return to training sooner than that. It's possible. He'll miss the England camp in November as well. So it's... I mean, look, Palmer's been out for a while now, and there's seemingly been... not an awful lot of improvement. So what's to say there's going to be a major improvement in 6 weeks' time? You know, I'm a bit confused by that. What's to say there's not going to be a major improvement? He's going to be ready to play in 6 weeks. You know, surely if you wait another 6 weeks and he's not ready, why would you just not do the surgery? Because at this point in time, we're in danger of just wasting a lot of time, serious amounts of time. We're in danger of being wasted here. So look, we'll see. Next 9 or 10 games, no Cole Palmer. We're going to have to find solutions. We must find solutions, And yeah, guys in the chat, let me know your preferred solutions. Let me know your preferred solutions, people. If it's Neto in doubt, then it has to be this lineup: Sanchez, James Fofana, Tosin, Cucurella, Santos, Lavia, Joao, Esteban, Garnacho, Mark Guiu. Yeah, potentially. Potentially, I agree on that. So look, that is the latest on the Cole Palmer situation. 6 more weeks. 6 more weeks, guys. Yeah, it's great to be back. It's so good that football's back, isn't it? It's so good. I love it when football returns after the international break with all this wonderful, wonderful news. And to keep the good news coming, chat, because I don't know if they're outright lying, but what I would say is they're not being entirely honest. Is how I would frame it. I don't think they're being honest with the entire situation. Let's put it like that. But if that wasn't enough good news, guys, to start the day, let's bring you even more good news, because the good news keeps on coming. It keeps on coming, chat. Because look at this. Enzo Maresca says Benoit Badiashile will be out until December with a muscle problem. Wonderful. Another player probably set to miss the rest of the calendar year. This guy's pissing me off. I'll be honest, chat, because he has not been able to stay fit since his first 6 months at the club. Badiashile, another one. Fitness a major issue. The last time this guy was fit for a sustained period of time is when he first arrived at the football club in January 2023, and he played alongside Thiago Silva, and he was brilliant. But he's constantly stop-start, in and out the side. You have patience, or more patience, with players like Reece James, with players like Romeo Lavia, because of how good they are. Badiashile's decent, but he's not Reece James, Romeo Lavia level. We have got to start being ruthless and offloading these guys that aren't reliable. You cannot have the bulk of your squad being made up of players who are so unreliable and cannot be counted on. Cannot be counted on. And he's another one. You know, he gets injured in the Club World Cup against Benfica in the last 16, gets himself back for the Brighton game. He came off the bench, and I think he started against Benfica, looked good. He looks very good against Liverpool, goes off injured. Lo and behold, he's out for another 12 months, for another 2 months, sorry. What is the point, honestly? What is the point? I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough of it. I'm sick of it with these players. Absolutely sick of it. It's so annoying. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Because now the only other natural left centre-back in the squad is Jarell Hatto. And Hatto is not really a centre-back, to be honest. He can play there and he can do a job there. But he's not really a centre-back, chat. He's not really a centre-back. And so you look at that left-hand side, and Badiashile would have been perfect to fill that role. And this was such a big opportunity for him to establish himself as part of Chelsea's first choice pairing for this season. But his body just keeps letting him down, letting him down, letting him down. So squad-wise, the only other left centre-back in the team is Hatto, who is going to have to be, who could potentially need to be forced into starting more games. Maybe Cucurella will have to be put into the back three, and he won't be inverting or pushing higher up the pitch. He'll have to drop in and become, you know, that left-footed centre-back option as we're building up from the back. And Badiashile, the frustrating thing is, right, Badiashile's look great on and off the ball, and then he just goes missing again. Yeah, Hato was good against Liverpool, but it was a 20-minute sample, 30-minute sample size, or whatever it was. You know, this is difficult, chat. This is difficult. It really is, and it just throws a bit of a spanner. It throws a spanner into the works. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what we're going to do, because we will miss Badiashile, given how terrible the current centre-back options are. We will absolutely miss him. No, we're not playing James as a centre-back. No, you know, that's not running. That is not running at all. It's not running. But just quickly, by the way, on the Palmer thing, there's a small update. In terms of the time frame. Before we get back to Badiashile, let me just quickly bring this up. So, Chelsea hope the estimated 6-week time frame will be when Cole Palmer returns to playing rather than training. So, from today, that would be November 27th. Chelsea face Barcelona on the 25th and Arsenal on the 30th. So, that 6-week time frame is a return to playing. So, we're looking at a between Barcelona and Arsenal potentially to return to playing. But again, we have to wait and see how the recovery goes. We don't know how that recovery is going to go, and we're going to have to wait and find out. We're going to have to wait and find out, chat, but it is going to be a problem. Do you know what else is a problem, people? Is how shit the amount of likes are on the stream. Guys, we're better than this. We are much better than this. Smash that like button, people. Get these likes up. We should be on 50 likes minimum. We've not even hit 30. So come on, guys. Let's get to work. You know, the new YouTube algorithms are causing problems for everyone. So just pressing the like button is going to make a big, big difference to the show and push it out to more people. So please do it, guys. It's the only favor I will ask from you. So please do smash the likes. Come on, guys. Help me out. Yeah, we'll miss Badiashile just as an all-round player. I think Hatter will be good. I trust him. Hopefully he doesn't get injured as well, knowing our luck. Also, he's a young player having to play so many minutes. Hatter at centre-back, yeah, look, that's going to seem like the obvious option. Maybe it'll be Achimpong. Maybe it's going to be Achimpong and Fofana as the pairing. I don't even know what the pairing is going to be. But we've got to start being more ruthless. We have to start being more ruthless with players like Badiashile and stuff, because so many players in the squad, are not good enough. Or they're not, well, yes, not good enough, but just not reliable. Not reliable. Oh, it's so annoying. But so entirely predictable as well. So entirely predictable. So entirely predictable. Yeah, look, I think they will be, and we'll move on to that. But one thing I am going to say, right? One thing I am going to say, chat, is that anyone blaming the manager, if we drop points in these upcoming games, when you look at the players that are out and the injuries that are out and how many key players are missing, it's going to be so wide of the mark, it's unreal. They're going to be so wide of the mark blaming the manager here with the injury problems that we've got. I mean, I'm not saying the season's derailed, but it's a major issue. Just centre-backs dropping like flies. Palmer another 6 weeks. Caicedo, Enzo doubts. Pedro Neto a doubt. João Pedro is now fully fit. But if we drop points, guys, we can't be blaming the manager for it, unless it's a situation like Man United or Brighton, for example. But the players we've got available simply aren't good enough. A lot of them simply are not good enough. And that is something that's something that's a major concern, chat. That is something that is a major, major concern. But if you look at the injury list, right? Look at the injury list here. Right, look at the injury list here. Let me just bring it up now. Because Badiashile is just sick note. This is not fun anymore, chat. This is not fun. It's not fun. Look at the players that are missing. Look at the players that are missing, chat, for this Forest game. Colwell, Delap, Isugu, Palmer, Badiashile. Caicedo, Neto, and Fernandez all doubts, but Fofana, James. So Fofana, Chalobah, Santos, and Tosin are all back, and James is obviously fully fit as well. That injury list is bleak, absolutely bleak. Yeah, no, obviously, yeah, no, absolutely, and I did say that. I did say that. It obviously entirely depends on the context of the game. No doubt about it. But generally speaking, you know, if Maresca has a decent game and we get let down by the players, sure. But again, we would have needed to have sold a centre-back as well to bring another one in. But we should have planned in the window better. Instead of signing 5 attackers, we probably should have signed 1 or 2 less attackers and sold a centre-back and bought a top-level centre-back in. That's probably what we should have done. But hey, the window's done now. There's no point going back over old ground. We've got to deal with the situation as it is. We've got to deal with the current situation that we're presented with. Bro, there's only so much a manager can do. There's only so much a manager can do when he's presented with a situation like this. Only so much can be done. I mean, what are we supposed to do? I mean, look, we should be able to beat Nottingham Forest regardless, but the task is made tougher. There's no doubt about it. The task is absolutely 100% made more difficult. The task is 100% more difficult. And the luck we're having right now is so bad. So bad. But our run of games now and the next international break are crucial. Between now and the next international break, crucial run of games, chat. And that will really set the tone for the season. That will really show whereabouts we're going to be as a team. That will really, really show whereabouts we're going to be. And we are just going to have to ride it out for this tough period. There's no doubt about it. Enzo had swelling on his knee and he returned early from Argentina. Caicedo and Pedro Neto didn't train yesterday, according to Enzo Maresca. Maybe they'll train today. We don't know. And yeah, I guess we'll find out either later on today or tomorrow whether they're going to be available for the game tomorrow against Forest. So yeah, Enzo's swelling on his knee. It's not thought to be anything major, but I remember before the Liverpool game, he was warming up with a strapping around his knee. Obviously, didn't play with the strapping, but he was warming up with a bit of a strapping around his knee. So yeah, problems indeed, people. Yeah, look, the centre-back thing has never been about lack of numbers. It's always been a quality situation. It's not been about a lack of quantity. It's been about a lack of quality. And look, we're just very unfortunate that we've been struck down with so many injuries in the same area all at the same time. I mean, that's just unfortunate. I don't know what you can do about that. I don't know what you can do about that, but it is just unfortunate. You know, it's tricky. But look, 4 players have returned, which is ideal. We know about the long-term absentees in Colwell, Delapasugu, and Palmer. So it's Badiashile is the main thing with the absentee in regards to the Forest game. But yeah, it just feels like this season is just so stop-start. Every time we build a bit of momentum, we just get something chucked at us, and it takes us back. You know, that's the situation that we're in right now. And it's frustrating. Really frustrating. Let's chat. I'll tell you what. With Enzo, we can play Santos and Neto. We can play Esteval. The biggest concern is Caicedo because Lavia is so injury prone. Yeah, this is it. This is exactly it. I mean, chat. Let's go through a team. Let's go through a team now. Let's do this. Let's build a team for Nottingham Forest tomorrow. Let's build a team for Nottingham Forest. Right, so I'm going to bring this up on screen now, chat. We're going to build a team for Forest. Fuck off. Right, okay, guys. So we know what's going to we know what's going to go on here in goal. Obviously, Sanchez. Cucurella left back. Done. Right, this is where it gets interesting, though. What are we saying? Centre back pairing, guys, because you've got Tosin back, you've got Chalobah back, you've got Fofana, you've got Achimpong. So that's the situation we're now looking at with those players. It's going to be 2 from those 4, essentially. So 2 from those 4. Or will he play Hatto? For me personally, I think I would play Josh Achimpong. And then who do you partner Achimpong with? Do you go Tosin? Do you go Chalobah? Do you go Fofana? For me, I'm going to stick Fofana in. That's the partnership that I'd go with. And then stick, obviously, Reece James at right back. What are you lot saying in the chat? Guys, let me know in the chat your preferred centre-back pairings. Let me know your preferred centre-back pairings. Bro, Fofana's not a risk, though. He's missed the last few games due to concussion. You know, the concussion protocol, he's had to miss out, unfortunately. Yeah, I know I've got the centre backs the wrong way around. I'm not asked about switching it back again. Well, it's probably going to have to be Josh. But again, that again is a fair point, and that is maybe one of the big reasons that you would stick Tosin in is for those line breaking passes. Absolutely. So maybe you stick Tosin in. Anyway, that's where we're at. Midfield. Now, if Enzo and Caicedo are both unavailable, so I'm going to presume that they'll both be available, right? I'm going to presume they'll both be available. So, in that case, in my opinion, you go Lavia and Caicedo. Right? I'm just presuming that Caicedo is going to be fine. I'm presuming Enzo Fernandez is going to be fine. So, we come to the left wing. It's gonna be Garnacho for me again. We come to the right-hand side. If Neto's fit, it will be Pedro Neto. The reason why, right, even if I wanted to start Esteban, right, I don't think he is going to start. No, bro, Caicedo's not out. He's basically saying, like, they're going to see whether Caicedo is going to train today. Him, Enzo, and Neto didn't train the other day. So they're going to see whether they train today. They're going to see whether they train today. No, bro, they're not out. They're not out. They're basically they didn't train. They didn't train yesterday. They're going to see if they train today. They're going to see if they train today. That's what we're looking at. So you go Neto there. To be honest, for me, and the reason why I don't think Esteban will start is because he's been to South Korea and Japan in the international break and played in both games. That, for me, is one reason why I think he won't start. That, for me, is one reason why I think he won't start, chat. So in the 10, I'm going Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez in the 10 with João Pedro up front. João Pedro fully fit, according to Enzo Maresca. That is what I would go with. However, we have to make potentially some adjustments. Yeah, that he did say that, but I think there's a little bit of confusion in terms of the phrasing, because then there's another bit that says they didn't train yesterday and they're going to see if they train today. That's the situation. However, let's look at a worst case scenario here, chat. Right, that's the team that I'd go with, providing Enzo, Caicedo, and Neto are all fit and available and train today and come through. You know, that's what we need to. That's what I would do if that is the case. Let's go with a worst case scenario, chat. Let's go worst case scenario, and let's say that all three are missing. Right? Let's go worst case scenario and presume that all three are missing. So you swap Neto out. You swap Neto out. right? And you would stick Esteval in there, right? So if Neto's not available, you stick Esteval there on the right. If Enzo Fernandez is not available, this is what you do. Remove him and remove João Pedro. If there's no Enzo Fernandez, you go Pedro in the 10. And you stick Mark Guillou up front. And if there's no Caicedo, you've got two options here. You either bring in Andre Santos, who is fit and available again, or you stick Reece James in midfield alongside Lavia, and you play Malo Gusto at right back. Those are the alternative options, chat. If in a worst case scenario, all three of those players aren't available, that would be the alternative options. Brother, you have to plan for worst case scenario. I've already done my team, presuming they'd be fit and hoping they'd be fit. And now, in a worst case scenario, if they're not available, then this is the team that I would go with. If those guys are out, then this is the team that we should be going with. If they're not, then we go back to what I had on the screen on the first point. But there's no point burying our heads in the sand and pretending they're all going to be fine when there's a chance they might not be. So you have to make alternative plans. You have to make alternative plans. That's it. That's it. You're making it out like I want them to be missing. Of course I don't. I want them to be available. I absolutely want them to be available. Absolutely want them to be available. Isn't it just great that football's back, guys? Cole Palmer is set to... You know... Miss another six. Yeah, the centre-back pairing is going to be difficult. You do want someone that's going to be able to break the lines of the passes, and Tosin is the one that does that. Bro, Badiashile's not starting. He's injured until December. Maresca confirmed this morning. Again, never said all the big players were out. I'm just going for a team in a worst-case scenario. If those players that are doubts are missing, then this is what I would go with. That's it. And Badiashile, this is not just based on this. This guy cannot stay fit. The only time he's been fit is his first 6 months at the club. We can't keep just carrying players who are constantly injured. At some point, we have to have reliable footballers at the club. You have more patience with James, with a Lavia, because they're top quality. Badiashile's not on that level of a James, of a Romeo Lavia, which is why there's less patience with him. And we just have to cut our losses and move these kinds of players on. We have to. And it might seem harsh, but this is not a charity. This is top-level football. You need players that you can rely on. You need players that you can rely on. And Badiashile will probably go and do very well somewhere else where the football's less intense. Maybe in a Serie A. Maybe he'll do something similar to Loftus-Cheek and whatnot, or to a Pulisic or something like that, where the football's less intense. It's not as vigorous on the body, and they can go and do very well. But yeah, that's the team if Enzo, Caicedo and Pedro Neto are missing. Let's hope they're not. Let's hope they train today and they're fine. But that's the team I'd go with if they do happen to be missing for this game. But yeah, look, either lineup, chat, we have got more than enough More than enough to be winning. You know, more than enough to beat Nottingham Forest. There's no excuses, chat. There are no excuses. There really aren't. Yeah, he is a proper centre back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think so. Look, Forest have not looked threatening at all. We have to say it how it is. We have to be honest. Forest have not looked threatening whatsoever. So I don't think we should have too many issues dealing with what they're likely to throw at us from an attacking perspective. Obviously, Murillo returning for them is a major plus. There's no escaping that. Absolutely, it is. Murillo returning is a major plus for Nottingham Forest. But yeah, I don't. I don't think so. I don't think so. Bro, I was saying this all summer and people were laughing at me. People were laughing at me when I was talking about Mark Gurhey. They were laughing. Well, maybe they're not laughing now. To be honest, they haven't actually. Yeah, Murillo, the Brazilian lad that we thought that we've been linked with in the past. To be honest, they haven't really. There's not been like Forest haven't been playing some sort of outrageous high line under Ange. It's not really been that high line for life stuff. It hasn't really been that. We have to be real. It hasn't really been that. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Lavia again. Lavia's got to be starting this game. I'm looking forward to seeing Lavia play again as well. This is a guy with so much ability, so much ability. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they approach it. Will they sit back? Will they go for it? I tell you what, if they go a goal down, the atmosphere in the City ground will turn very, very toxic. They were already crying for Ange to go. You know, they're already crying out for him to be sacked. They were chanting against Midgetland or Midgetland for him saying he's going to get sacked in the morning. Forest go behind, the game's done. I think atmosphere will turn toxic, and I think it will be a point of no return. I think it will be a point of no return. I really do. No, I don't think so. But Maresca said him, Neto, and Enzo didn't train yesterday, and they'll see if they train today. So those three are apparently doubts. I've got absolutely no idea. We paid 35 million for him, almost 3 years ago now. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. I've got no idea. I'm not really thinking about transfers right now. Yeah, look, we were fine against Liverpool. We beat Liverpool without Palmer. That's fine. But we were essentially going to be out without Palmer for 6 weeks, another 6 weeks. And that's going to be another 9 or 10 games, virtually half a season he would have missed. And that's not good. However you want to dress it up, that is not good. We have to be honest about these things. We have to be honest. So yeah, that's the team that I go with, chat. For anyone just joining now, if the doubts in Enzo, Caicedo and Neto are out, if they are out, this is the team we go with. If not, we go Joao Pedro up front, Enzo in the 10, Neto starting on the left. And that is what we would go with. No, we can definitely beat Forest. Yeah, look, guys, we can obviously beat Forest. Does it make the task a bit more difficult? Absolutely, it makes it a bit more difficult. Of course it does. But yeah, there's more than enough to be beating Forest. More than enough to be beating Forest. More than enough. But right now, we just can't catch a break. We just can't catch a break. And that's really annoying. Really annoying. Yeah, quite possibly. Quite possibly. No, he's out for the next 6 weeks. Might return for Barcelona or Arsenal. But we don't know just yet. We don't know just yet. But he might return. We'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. Look, I don't think, if you look at the last few games, right, where Joao Pedro's played up front on his own with no creative 10 behind him, I don't think we can sit and say he's been wasteful. He hasn't missed any big chances or squandered opportunities that he should have done better with. He simply hasn't even got the ball. We haven't got the ball for him. We haven't got him into the game. He's not been wasteful. If he'd been wasteful, it means that he would have been missing chances that he should have been sticking in the back of the net. He's not been getting the chance. I don't even think he's had a shot on. He had one shot against Liverpool, and it wasn't on target. You know, this guy has not been in the game. He's not been getting him into the games. So to say he's been wasteful is incorrect in my view. He's not been wasteful because the chances haven't even been there for him. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Guys, keep smashing the likes. We're on 52 now. Let's keep these likes pumping up. Come on, chat. Keep the likes going. We've got to get these likes up. It's free. It takes seconds, and it really, really helps me out. The views are difficult at the moment, so make sure you are doing that. Get these likes up, chat. Get them up. Come on, people. Help me out. The community here is good. We're normally smashing those likes, so make sure you are doing that right now. And subscribing if you're new around here as well, guys. No, we absolutely can't. We cannot let Ange get the first win against us. Yeah, I look, again, I don't think a centre-back signing is likely in January unless you get the player, unless there's the player available that you want. That will make a difference at the price Chelsea are looking at. Otherwise, if we're gonna bring a centre-back in, it will just be another one. It'll be a loan recall. It will be a loan recall. Yep, exactly this. Exactly this. Yeah, look, I'm not concerned about top four, but it is very much a top four race rather than a title battle. I think we all have to admit. I think we have to admit that. I think we have to admit that it is looking like a top four battle rather than a title battle right now, with our injuries and with our struggles for any level of consistency. We just need to be real, chat. We just have to be real. Joao Pedro was utilised to occupy two centre-backs against Liverpool, making a one-man advantage. Yeah, no, of course. You know, there's more to football than GA. But again, Pedro has not been particularly effective in the last two games, and that's because he's not playing in the 10 off a centre-forward, and he's not got a creative 10 behind him. So that's why he's been struggling. Not because he's played badly, because he's just not been in the game, because Chelsea haven't got him into the game or put him into a position to get him into the game. Those are the issues that we're having. Yeah, Delap has been a major miss, and Delap is a bigger miss, I think, than what a lot of people are prepared to admit. A much, much bigger miss than a lot of people are prepared to admit he is. He is a major miss. Major miss. And hopefully he'll be back at some point soon as well. Hopefully he will be back. No, bro, Palmer's season is not over, but he's really very much going to feature only in the second half of the season, really, which is a major shame. But you know, that's life. These things happen, unfortunately, and we've got to find a way to deal with it. We have to find a way to deal with it. No, I don't think it's going to end up like Mount. I don't think we need to be too overreactionary here. But yeah, look, again, this could be a consequence of the amount of football he played in the last 2 seasons. You know, I don't think there's a surprise with a correlation of the fact that he played so many minutes in his first 2 seasons that eventually it's going to catch up with you. I'll be honest, I don't know who he is. I'll be so real. Yeah, I would hope so. I would hope so. But again, I don't know for certain. But I'd like to think that the lap would return after that international break. I'd like to think that would be the case, 100%. I mean, look, I'm no medical expert. I've got no idea what he does or doesn't need. But yeah, I mean, whatever time he needs to make sure it's fine, give him the time because we don't want him to come back and then suffer a setback. So this needs to be 100% right. Has to be. Yes, big up, brother. This 6 weeks will be good for Palmer as he could come back and instantly shine straight away. Well, he could come back and shine straight away, but I don't think there's any point putting pressure on him or really thinking about Palmer in these next 6 weeks. I really don't think there's much point in doing that. He needs to be, you know, a back thought now on the back burners. We haven't got him. We've got to focus on the players that we do have, and yeah, and go from there. That's what we've got to be doing. Focus on who we have got. Well, apparently he doesn't need the surgery, but I agree. If it gets to 6 weeks and it's like, oh, actually, he probably does need the surgery, then I get it. Surgery is a last resort, and you want to, explore other possible avenues. But sometimes it's the best option. So let's wait and see. Yeah, it's going to be touch and go. It's going to be touch and go. Either way, I wouldn't expect him to start that game. He could make the bench. This is why we signed Esteval. Well, look, Esteval can play on the right or whatever. Sure, he could play 10, and it's an option that we can definitely explore, 100%. Yes, big up, brother. Hope you're well. But yeah, look, it's not been the best news today, chat. It's not been the best news today. We need to be honest with ourselves here. It's been a difficult morning news wise, but it's a huge game against Nottingham Forest. It's such a big game. Because we are desperate for some consistency. We're desperate, chat. Absolutely desperate. I mean, chat, how are you feeling about this game, by the way? How are you feeling? Because we need obviously to build momentum. The win against Liverpool is utterly pointless, by the way, if we don't follow it up with a win against Forest. That's the reality. Bro, I'm not worried, but I think that, there's a certain level of apprehension purely based on the fact it's the first game back after the international break. It's the lunchtime kickoff. We're away from home. And teams on a bad run aren't going to be on a bad run forever. At some point, they will get themselves together. And that, for me, is a worry because we know about our charitable status. I think we've got enough, and I think it should be a comfortable win. But I do think it will be closer than perhaps a lot of people think. I do think it will be closer than people think. But we need players to step up. Players have got to step up. They must. We must. No excuses, guys. No excuses not to beat a side who haven't won since the first game of the season. But we all know. But we all know it would be very Chelsea to beat Liverpool and then go and drop points against Forest. We all know that. And it's about time we started building some consistency and giving a good account of ourselves. That's what we got to start doing, chat. That's what we must start doing. I mean, look, the Guiu thing, Pedro's struggling in the 9. So why not put him in the 10 and just play him up front? You know, I do agree with that. And I did say it in my lineup earlier that if Enzo's not fit, then stick Guy up front and play Pedro in the 10. That's what I'm saying. What are the odds on another red card? Probably quite high, to be honest, guys. Probably quite high. No Charity FC. Yep, no Charity. Charity's good, but not when we're playing football. Not when we're playing football. Oh, bro, someone will get sent. If it's not a player, someone will get sent off. I don't know who, but someone will get sent off. Bro, I don't think he has. And I was speaking about this earlier, probably before you joined, is that we're not getting him in the game. He's isolated, you know, and playing up front on his own, if there's no creative 10 behind him, is useless. It is useless. And so that's why I think with Palmer's absence, we could definitely look at dropping him into the 10 and play Guy up there, because that surely is going to get him more involved in the game. Well, I think now that Guy's ready to play, given he played against Liverpool, I actually think Maresca might use him more now. But it equally wouldn't surprise if we just played George up front tomorrow. Equally, it wouldn't surprise me, people. It would not surprise me. No, he's not getting service. He's not in the game, bro. He's not in the game, and that is something that we've got to change. We've got to get this guy in the change, in the game. Sorry, not in the change. Yeah, 100%, 100%. He can still go to Sunderland. You just can't play for 3 clubs in the same season. So he can go back to Sunderland, but other than that, he either returns to Sunderland or he's going to be staying at Chelsea. So it makes sense to use him. It does make sense to use him, chat. I don't know why you wouldn't look at using him, to be perfectly honest. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. But we do need to use him. We do need to use him more. I do agree. Well, I'm not saying that Guy's unbelievable and he should be starting every week. Far from it. But with João Pedro dying in that number 9 role, you've got a 9. It would make sense to use him. It would make sense to use him. I don't know why you wouldn't go and do that. I just think it's something we should be exploring personally. But hey, look, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Yeah, I would rather him up top than George as well. Fully agree on that. Fully agree on that. Well, it'll be George or Guy. That's the reality. It'll be George or Guy up front against Ajax with no João Pedro because he's suspended after getting sent off against Benfica. So it will be a Guy or George. That's the reality of the situation that we're in. Oh, yeah, Guy offers way more than George. We know that because one's a striker and one's not. Guy offers way more than George. I think we're all aware. We're all aware of that. We're all aware of that. Yeah, potentially could. Yeah, I think whoever starts this game tomorrow out of Guy and George will whoever doesn't start, will start the Ajax game. That would be my opinion. I mean, look, again, I don't know if that's necessarily true or whatnot, but yeah, that would be my opinion on it, personally. But look, I could be totally wrong, guys. I could be totally wrong. Wouldn't be the first time, but I imagine we may see something like that. That would be my thoughts on it. Look, if Caicedo doesn't play tomorrow, it's a problem. For sure, it's a problem. It's a problem, 100%. Again, could be a possibility. Yeah, look, that'd be a problem. Would be a problem. But you'd like to think against Nottingham Forest we could cope if that were to happen. Caicedo, Neto, and Enzo didn't train yesterday. They're going to see if they can train today, but I would expect all three of them to be fine. Yeah, and again, I said it in the summer. What was I saying in the summer chat? We need 3 strikers. No, we don't. No top team has 3 strikers. I bet you lot that was telling me that in the summer in the chat. I bet you lot wish we had a 3rd striker now, don't you? I bet you do. Yeah. So this is not about, I was right, you were wrong, but I was right, chap. I was right. But we have to work with what we've got now. So it's going to be tricky. Look, I think with Chelsea, any injury news we get, I think you have to accept that any time frame Chelsea give, you need to add a couple weeks on minimum. Maybe more. If someone's out for 4 weeks, they're out for 6 weeks, could be 8 weeks. That's what we've got to be doing now, chat. Adding a couple of weeks on minimum to any time frame Chelsea give for players. Who do I think will start as centre back? I mean, I did go with Josh, Achimpong, and Fofana, but maybe it will be Tosin and Achimpong potentially. I think Tosin purely based on the fact that he's the only one that's got anywhere near replicating, Levi Colwell's line-breaking passing ability and stuff. So that's why I'd probably go with them. Bro, Delap's been out since the Fulham game. So the game against Fulham was at the end of August. I think it was August 30th. was the Fulham game. So he's been out since August 30th. I don't think this will happen. I don't think it will happen because they can't give Strasbourg Mark Guiu as an alternative unless they sign Strasbourg another striker in January to take their captain and first choice number 9 partway through a season. That would not go down well. Would not go down well at all. He could well do. And again, look, the problem we've got is there's not really a standout combination at centre back. There's not a standout combination for us. Well, it's not confirmed they're all missing. It's not confirmed they're all missing. So we wait and see, guys. We wait and see. We wait and see what might happen, what the solution could potentially be. No, we know the centre-backs aren't good enough for Chelsea, but we have to also bear in mind that these are our squad options and we're having to start them. That's where the problem is that these guys I think are fine for squad options, but when you've got to start them for pretty much half a season or whatever, or a whole season, that's when it becomes an issue. That's when it does become an issue. And we just have to be honest about that. Josh should be a regular starter for us now. Yeah, look, I think he probably should get more starts at centre-back. I agree. Come on, people. Yeah, I think Caicedo will. We've become so used to Caicedo just playing all the time. But I think we also have to be aware, chat, that there will come a time where Caicedo will miss some games for us. That is going to happen. It just depends. It just depends when that's happening. It just depends when that's happening. Yeah, it has to be Guy in the 9. Has to be Guy in the 9. Simple as that. If we had a good club, if we had a good centre-back duo, we would have been causing trouble in the league. Yeah, of course, we would have done. Well, potentially January, but we're looking at end of the year, probably December. We're looking at December, January for any potential return for Dario Asugu, which is pretty bleak. You're looking at a December, January. Mental. Absolutely mental. December or January for a Sugu, chat. That's roughly the time frame, which again is not great. Which again really isn't too good, guys. Really isn't too good. Guys, keep smashing the like button as well. We're on 66 likes. Let's get this up to 70. Let's try and get this as close to 100 as we can. So if you've not smashed that like button, make sure you do now. Smash up those likes. Get it up to 70 likes minimum. And subscribe as well if you are new around here and haven't done so already. We're heading towards 19k. It's a slow grind. It's a long grind. But yeah, please do smash the subscribe button if you're new around here and keep smashing up those likes. We're on 66. Let's get this up to 70 likes minimum, but let's get this beyond. Come on, chat. I've got no idea what he's doing. I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, no, he will. He will. Yes, I'll be there tomorrow. I will be there tomorrow. Yeah, early train up from London for the 12:30 kickoff. You've got to love that, haven't you? You've got to love that. You've got to love it. Football for the fans, eh? But yeah, I'll be there. We will be there. We will be there, chat. No doubt about it. We will be there. Right, what else is going on? Yep, we have got some key injuries in the team. We absolutely do, and it's a problem. We know. Yeah, no, normally decent. Normally decent, to be fair. It's normally a pretty good atmosphere there, but of course, given the fact that The feeling around the club's not great. They don't want Ange there. It's all gone a bit wrong. Yeah, I can't imagine the atmosphere is going to be particularly good. I can't imagine the atmosphere is going to be particularly good. But hey, if we can get an early goal, that'll be massive. Early goal will be absolutely huge for us. Absolutely huge for us. I've got no idea. I've got no idea. Yeah, was that the one in the FA Cup? That was a bleak night. I got back so late as well. So late. I think I rolled in after that game at like 1 a.m. It was criminal. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, I honestly think we need to get the first goal. And if we get the first goal, I do think that'll be game done. I really do. Did we lose 3-0 in the Prem there last season? Did we lose 3-0 to Brighton in the league last season? No. I must have completely erased that from memory. I must have completely erased that from memory. I don't remember that. I was there for the FA Cup defeat. I was there for the league game as well. I don't remember losing 3-0. Did we lose that game 3-0? Fuck, I'd forgotten about that completely. No, I know they beat us. I know they did. I know they done us twice in a week, but I forgot the league was 3-0. Fuck me, that was a bad few days, guys. A real dark few days. I can't lie. A real dark few days. Yeah, bro, he done Chalobah and he slotted it. It was a great goal. It was a great goal. But yeah, the defending was so poor. Yeah, Brighton done us. Yeah, bro, probably the best place to be. I can't lie. I would have swapped being at the Amex on both occasions to be in Saudi. I can't lie. Yeah, that sounds much more enjoyable. That would have been a lot better. That would have been a lot better. Would have been a lot better, guys. Yeah, we could say that about a number of things with Jorgensen. Probably should have done better. Yeah, bro, I always worry about Amex away. I've never seen us win there. I've been there. I've one win I've seen. I've seen us win one game out of 4 at the Amex. And that was the Poch season. At the end of the Poch season, we won 2-1. One win from 4 at the Amex for me. Not a happy hunting ground. Not an enjoyable place to go. I must be honest, chat. No, I'm not a season ticket holder, but I just know a lot of people. No, brother, Cole's out for another 6 weeks. Could be back for Barcelona or Arsenal potentially, but it's unlikely. Yeah, we won under Poch 2-1. Great vibes. Great vibes there. Really good vibes. Thoroughly enjoyable, that one was. Thoroughly enjoyable. But that's the only time I've enjoyed going to the Amex. The rest of the time, it's been fucking grim, chat. I've got contacts. Because I'm mates with loads of season ticket holders, there's always tickets going. So that's it, basically. No secret. No secret. No, I've just got mates. I've just got mates that are season ticket holders, and a lot of them. And there's always tickets going. Yeah, sick head of that game. Really good. And Nkunku scored as well. Yep. That was the season. That was the season. Now, Lewis has gone a bit more recently. Yeah, it's gone a bit more recently, but yeah. Hopefully, Palmer will be ready for Barcelona or Arsenal, but there's no guarantees, unfortunately. No guarantees. So yeah, we will have to We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, bro, it is tough. It is tough. I'll be honest, it is difficult. If I didn't know people, I'd be fucked. So yeah, it is tricky. It is tricky. No doubt about it. No doubt about it whatsoever. But right, chat. I've got a meeting in 4 minutes. So we're going to have to round this one out here. Big up to everyone that tuned in this morning. I know it's a bit earlier than usual, but there was some breaking news to go through, and this is kind of the time of the day that I could fit it in. So we're here. We're back. Palmer's out for 6 weeks. Badiashile's out to December, but the Chelsea march on. Game against Nottingham Forest tomorrow lunchtime. Stay tuned for the content chat coming after the game, match reaction, and match footage and whatnot from the ground. So make sure you stay tuned in for that. If you've not already, go to the channel now. Check out the match preview with Wolfie if you've not watched it already. But guys, big love as always. Please smash the like button on the way out. Please subscribe if you're new around here. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I'll see you lot tomorrow. Up the Chelsea, and we're out. Love.